welcome to another special edition of the thing called Double Rock Boss. We here to rock your wide central. Thing called pure, raw, uncut, unadulterated. Junkanoo News by way of Nose in full form today. You're surely top class in the place. My co-host today, by Soldier Man, put some bass in your voice, boss. Get yourself organized.
Junkanoo Paparazzi.
Oh, we live today, boss. Y'all see we get guests in the studio today. Y'all been sharing the videos, posting the videos, and liking the videos, and all that good stuff, but y'all might know the face and who behind the judgment face and the name, you know? So let's introduce our guest today. Yours truly,
Yolanda, better known as Lando.
You can call me AJ.
thing called Rush Culture in the place, my boy. Y'all been seeing all the videos, all the content posts from Rush Culture, but now we putting the faces to it. Y'all see them on the road. You know what used to happen, Papa? Remember when the people who never used to know you and they used to come and bump you the drum and ready to lick you the cowbell and push you the way. And when they realize who you is, they want prime video. So they make sure you get clearance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until they know you is, you ain't getting clearance, boss. You can get bumped all around the road.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Is that right, man?
And then they see the final product.
And then they see the final product, and then they
be
come
like,
looking for you.
Hey,
And
boy,
then they come
through.
They come looking for you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we can do this. I need you to record this. Come this way, come this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what it is, man. This is our special guest today. We kicking off a series thing called Junkanoo Media in the place. You know what I mean? You gotta respect the people who bringing the content on the road, off the road. You know what I mean?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. Don't forget all the time.
And consistent.
Consistent.
With the vibe. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, I ain't being consistent on the road a little while, partner. I just let you know.
But here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to be consistent on the road
Because
anymore.
they on the road.
There you go. There you
See,
go.
that's the
There
thing
you
called
go.
passing the baton.
There you
A
go.
lot of people in this road, they ain't want to pass the baton. Everybody want me. But you got to understand, but you're getting older.
Are you talking to me?
No.
I feel like you're
No,
speaking to
boss.
me.
You still get younger.
No,
you still
no,
get
the
younger
reason-
people on the road.
The reason I said that, I always said I was doing it for 20 years. And guess what's coming up?
What is it?
January 2026.
That's 20 years? Boss, you get your apprentice and organize?
Well, the good thing about my profession, or about what I was, or my field, taking photographs, I think we pretty much covered. We have, we got Maki.
Awesome in the place.
Awesome does both. He does
Video and
the
still.
Sawyer Candidates.
So, okay.
That's a daughter and son
Okay.
combination, which
All
is
right.
listen to me, and that's a personal story for me when we have them on.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity to have them on because I remember them from behind the bleachers to now on the road and online. So I've watched their growth from, you know.
Well, you gotta get yourself to that, boy. That's what I
Yeah,
talk about.
That's enough respect to them, but that just goes to show, you know. So I think the photography side of it is in good hands.
Is in hands, good
And
hands.
yeah,
With you in good hands, boss. You ain't gotta worry. But I can stay right here in
when
the
it comes to-
studio
when it-
and freak out.
I must say, when it comes to social media in Junkanoo, I think we pretty much, we got it covered.
You got it covered.
We got it covered. Now, I would like to see more coverage in Family Islands. From a Family Island point of view, but other than that, I mean,
So we gotta- we
Nassau
got-
centric. I think
We gotta get some. We guess how to get some soldiers on the ground on the Family Island. That's what you're
Just
trying to
encourage
tell
one or
us.
two people who
Yeah,
have the
man.
same interests. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You gotta have the passion for it to walk. Because you
Boy,
gotta go there.
if you
day
ain't
after
get the
day
passion,
after
the
day.
current ain't there, boss.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, but to our guests.
Yeah, I
that's
guess.
enough about us.
Because we can freak out
Yeah,
ourselves.
we
No
can
man
hardly
freak out
talk about
ourselves.
that. Yeah.
But
So, you go.
But no man, you freak out, man. Freak out,
We
man.
freak out. Okay.
Yeah, you freak
guys,
out.
hey, just like that, give us a brief background of
Rush
Rush
culture.
culture and where it originated from, what year you started, and what gave you the inspiration
To come
do
out
what
here and
you do.
shoot Junkanoo content.
Right, so I'll answer this one. So I'll be honest with you, we started, the concept of Rush Culture started in 2018,
Okay.
right? And where it started was, I lived in Canada for a long time, so I just recently came back home. I was in Canada for about 15 years.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things that, is missing at that time was Junkanoo content anywhere, whether it was just like, you know, YouTube or Facebook, that sort of stuff. You'd get small clips, you'd get pictures, that sort of, you know, people come and tell you stories about it, but there's nowhere you could go and actually find it, especially when you ain't in the Bahamas, you don't have access to it. Like how we all take for granted the fact that we could just go to a practice or, you know, catch a street parade, that kind of deal. So it really started there with there being that big gap. And then the next thing was, for me, it was, you know, how do we take Junkanoo from where it is and move it forward, get it in front of as many people as we can, get it out there into an international space. Right? So those were the two main driving forces for the creation of what we know as Rush Culture on YouTube and on Facebook, and, you know, the whole covering the practices, the parades, that sort of stuff. So we started, the concept was in 2018. We did a lot of the branding stuff originally, so we had like different brands than what you see as the logo and stuff now. Those were all of the things that we were working through. And then what ended up happening, COVID, right? So then just when we were on the cusp of getting it started and you know, coming out to do the videos, the practices, that sort of stuff, everything shut down. Right? So then we had basically 2 years to sit on this and kind of cook up, you know, the thought process of what it's gonna actually become. And then it really became a reality. It was one family who started our you know, very first Junkanoo practice video. Was one family. It was before Labor Day. That was what, year 2022, I think it was. 2022 was their first practice, and we shot all the footage, put it out, and think about it. This is, at that time, a channel that didn't really have any followers, any subscribers, nothing like that. And you put it out, put the name on it, and just watch the viewers start from there. So, you know, it's been a bit of a journey, but the concept started in 2019. First video was 2018, sorry, and then first video was 2020.
2022.
Because
2022,
at that time, there weren't a lot of people who were recording practices.
No.
The off parades or the parade itself, but practices.
I don't know if there was really anybody recording
people
practices.
People record with the phone and then
the clips, right?
You record front to back
like
for practice. No, that was like, you know, that's the first.
Yeah, so but you'll see like personal videos of persons just wanting to see themselves,
right,
and things like that.
They highlight themselves or their significant person.
You know, who they want.
Right, exactly. That's basically how that right.
But it was there was no avenue where you could say, well, okay, I could go and look at one family practice. I could go look at Saxon practice. You know, so all of that came into our minds as to say, what could we do different?
Right.
To touch the market.
To touch this
market.
But
you definitely fill the void.
Yep.
Right.
Because obviously there's a demand for this product.
There's a demand for
so
that.
you gotta shoot. Everybody practices?
Everyone.
Particle sense?
When you come to my practice, man.
When you set it up.
You know,
you know, it's a one-man band, boss. I ain't ready to roll my boy over now. I got to hear my gold skin drum first because I got to change the music.
Yeah, that's something for last time.
Boy, ain't much beating the gold skin drums now. You got a few young niggas coming up now. They picking up the goat skin.
The goat skin is back. Sneaking goat skin is back.
Yeah.
So how you became a trusted source in Junkanoo Junkanoo videos? You know, a lot of people shoot videos, but they ain't like they people they like, but who these people is? They ain't getting me none.
They ain't consistent.
Yeah,
these guys are consistent. That's the difference.
So I think the biggest thing is the product, right? So you want. When people watch the videos, what I want them to be able to see and experience, or what we want them to be able to see and experience, is you don't have to come out to this practice because we got you, right? We can make sure you catch all of the key moments that anybody that is at practice wants to see. You want to see the fanfare. You want to see the rollover, right?
No, but you know what I want to see? I want to see the drum get beat up, but I want to hear the trash talk, but you ain't getting none of that. You gotta have that behind the scenes.
We're going to approach it the wake on.
Yeah, so you gotta stop those people tapping their drum by the fire and talking mess. You gotta have, that's a part of practice.
You're right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We shoot
It
that
is.
before.
So you could show that like your little
B-roll.
yeah, your B-roll clip, you know what I mean? That's the trash talk and people talking foolishness.
have that, we
And the
have
little
that.
fire
We have
lighting and thing, you know what I mean?
The friendly
A couple
banter.
drummers voiced by the fire too, you know.
Yeah,
We
you're
saw
right.
the trash talk like coming down to the
Exactly.
to the parade.
Yeah.
You just get the trash talk. We go and we say, hey, you want to say something? You know, sometimes.
No man, you gotta catch them off guard.
No,
you don't let
see,
them say that.
Sometimes you catch them, they see you coming. It's
No,
like,
man.
see now.
See, we plan
They familiar faces now.
we plan cameras.
Hold on, before
Let me
time,
tell
and I
you the
could have
trick.
walked up and just say.
Let me tell you the
"Hey,
trick.
Off.
Let me
off
tell you the
base."
trick. Just have your camera rolling. Don't say that. Don't let them know you're recording. Just roll your camera.
That's the next idea.
You know, just roll your camera. Keep
You're
your
right.
camera hot.
Yeah. Just pull up.
Keep
Just
your
pull
camera
up.
hot and just pull up like a normal conversation.
Real.
And then off with the head.
Real.
All of it. And then you post them and you're like,
That's how-
oh no!
That's just how you get blackballed right there. They tell
No,
you-
no, boss. You gotta understand, Junkanoo people, boss. We like to be famous.
We like to see
Even
us.
if good bad, even if it's good or bad.
Real.
Boy, that,
Yeah.
you ain't like, but that
You know
one.
what I mean?
Whether it come out
So
good
what
or
you
it come
think,
out
what
bad,
you
they-
think
they
might
can
be,
take
what
it
you
is.
think might be bad, might end up being good.
Yeah.
But we have learned
And you
that.
gotta understand that in Junkanoo.
That's true.
Everything what ain't bad is bad. You know what I mean?
I want to touch on what you was asking. If we shoot everybody, right? And that's the big thing. So we always get people requesting, oh, where you is, where this group practices, or where this video is.
Yeah.
And the reality is, like you say, sometimes it don't be good. So for us, what I don't want to do, and what I don't want our brand to be known for,
It's
is
putting out
bad press
No.
on a group, and then have the public be able to, take it out on
See,
them.
you got to understand now. You got to be real with what you do. It is what it is. You can't. Listen to me.
It's not your
It
responsibility.
ain't
if
your
that practice
responsibility what
ain't
they
the best.
sound like, what they look like, or nothing. Your responsibility is come here and do what you do. Record, document, and roll out. If you ain't good, like I tell Papa's like, man, we got to do. No, soldier man, it is what it is. It is what it is. And you just gotta feel, you gotta be comfortable with that. And Junkanoo, you gotta be comfortable with that. If it ain't good, that on you all that on me, boss. I shoot. I come here to shoot. So all that's supposed to mean is give you encouragement and give you motivation to do better when I come back.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
And
saying?
everybody-
So you
everybody wanna see
can't,
themselves.
you don't limit yourself like that. Don't do that. Give everybody what it is. Give him. And I tell people that. People are like, boss, why you post this video? Boss, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And you can't feel no way. You can't feel no way because what that does is it make their product better. You only can make your product better and when you see the bad, you see the weak spots.
You're right. You're right.
So don't feel discouraged when you go to practice and they sound right. You post that, man. Post that, man. Post that. And all that means is when they watch that and be like, boy,
We gotta do
we
better.
gotta do better.
We gotta do better.
Gotta do better.
Gotta
You
do
know what I
better.
mean? So don't feel bad. See, as a person who done it, don't feel bad, boss. I don't care who it is. I post anybody. Whatever I record, I post it. I don't care if it's good or bad. All that means is if it's bad, do better.
And-
if it's
and-
good,
And
Talk
their
it up some more.
presentation will not reflect the quality of your product.
my point
You
exactly.
see what I'm saying? It's just, it will just give your product a new audience that you probably wouldn't have had before because you may not, these groups may have an audience who may not watch or never even know you exist because you never shot their group before.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's an opportunity.
That's true.
So let me ask you a quick question. What was your first Bay Street experience and what was that all? What was that like? What year? And I want to know nitty gritty. Were you harassed by any marshals? On your
Oh,
first
my
day
Anybody
on
in the
Bay
group.
Street? Did anybody tell you move?
Move. Get
Did
out the
anybody
way.
hit you? Did anybody touch you? Did anybody
Listen,
push you?
chum.
Did anybody blow their
shove
whistle
you?
on your
Did
face?
anybody respect you on your first day? See, these are the things I have to go through, so I have to. I
Yeah,
know.
so I
Listen to
we
me.
know.
That is something that I tell anybody that was was an experience. Our first parade, like major parade, the Boxing Day parade, and shooting that you had more ginks. Niggas would literally lock you into the back part of the music.
Oh yeah, you
and
can't
they
get
want
out.
You
You
more.
can't get
You
out.
can't get
Once
out.
they lock.
And that time you there saying, Jesus, how I can get out of here?
Yeah, you can't get out.
And then you looking at them and they looking at you like, why you here?
Yeah.
Why you in? Why you in my way?
Why you in my way?
Yeah.
Then I was like, hey, I don't want to get this way, you know. I don't want to move over here. That time they looking at you. Sometimes they hit me with the drum.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and they say, man, you ain't supposed to be here, you know. But then I said, but then in the next breath, hey, you still looking for me to give you this coverage?
Uh-huh.
And they'd be like, so you ain't record me, eh? You ain't catch me, eh?
Yeah.
I said, man, I can catch you.
That's the $1 million quote right there, because what happens is once they realize that you are the person recording,
Yeah.
and you put them out there to the world,
Yeah.
they respect you. And now,
Yeah.
but the second time around, it's like, what do we?
Oh,
Hey,
let me
Number
tell
two,
you.
let it chew.
Now it's all
My hardest
non-verbal
group-
communication now.
Yeah.
Non-verbal, you only got to
You
walk.
just got to
Just
be
show up.
in
Just
the
show up.
vicinity now.
My hardest group to
Break
get into with practice, I'll say was the Valley Boys. Listen here.
Which one?
Listen.
This was a
that
time where it was
that
only
the
one.
original Valley
That's why
Boys.
it was only
It was
one,
only
yeah.
one. They was like, no, we don't. When you come, just stay on the side here and don't move. You just move up with the group or whatever's the case, but you know you can't get in the way or whatever's the case. So I say, okay, no problem, you know. So when they saw their quality of what
their video.
that their video, everybody else was like basically front
Front
on.
on, everybody's
and
side on.
everybody, their own was side on. I was getting, hey, what happened, Ma? You got to record like that for us. I said, because guess what?
Your
marshals them can on like they ain't hurting them. Niggas just look at me, used to look at me and literally like, miss, more, man. I'm like, I ain't in your way. I ain't trying to put the camera in nobody's face. Just, I can move. I know how to move. I know how to deal with the group and everything like that. So, you know, let me just move along. No, but when they realized how they were perceived by the public,
Yep.
boy,
They
the
gone.
attitude changed so seriously.
From first parade to like the most recent parade, it's night and day difference.
Big respect.
Yes.
Doctor.
Big respect.
Big
That,
respect.
that first parade,
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of confusion, right? So, you know, some people in their own group don't know they marshals. So you got some people calling you for help.
Some people in their own group don't know nobody.
Don't know nobody
They don't
real.
know nobody.
Yeah, what the- we as media end up. I do it all the time.
Excuse
A
me,
lot of the time.
We
could you
assist all
help
the time.
me?
Yeah.
Could you fix my
Excuse me,
skirt?
can you pick that up?
Can you pick that up?
Yeah,
I say, hold on,
and I'm looking at them like,
Boss,
but
we
I
come here to
ain't
shoot
even a
video, but
marshal.
you ain't come here to do
You
nothing.
know, I ain't even.
Yeah.
But then it's crazy. So the people rushing ain't getting no help from the marshals, so they're asking you for help. And then the marshals, when you get around them, running you, trying to tell you, why you starting there? Come on, shit. You don't see this going on? Why? Come on the side. You can't be in the group.
Especially around the choreograph section.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially
You
around
did
the,
this.
especially why the choreographers I'm telling you marshals I still don't know. It's
I'm
not
still
one marshal
yet.
per girl.
And the thing about it is with them, with the choreograph, you know you have to give them that space, and you
Space,
know
right.
you have
Yeah.
to give them that room to move.
To move and
But you
spin
also
and
know
whatever
when
are.
they go in there freelance or whatever, you have the opportunity
You
to
need
shoot.
to shoot,
Right,
to get
shoot.
in there.
That's the
move
time
on.
when you could get there.
Right, but we know that.
But we, like I tell them, we have learned how to maneuver around. And then, like for me personally, who have done choreograph,
Yeah.
I know what it takes and what it costs us and what the movement of this and that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel really mindful of how I go and how I record a person or whatever's the case. Because then I know you have to, you know, be mindful of their space. But man, some of them marshals will try to eat your head off, and man, sometimes you just gotta step back and say, oh boy, look here, bro.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta push back on them. Sometimes
gotta-
they running me and I running them, but you need to come from around me.
What a parade they look like in Rush culture. Hard roll over, hard start, what's the setup, what the game plan is.
from start to finish. Meaning like
Start to
what's
finish.
the setup and the
Right. So
mindset.
parade day starts well before parade day. You know what I mean? Like really all depends on what's happening. So we need to know the lineup to understand our approach to how we're gonna shoot. And then on the actual parade day, the biggest thing is getting there before the parade starts. That's like, you know,
What you guys say? Being on time. Being on time.
Because if you miss somebody,
we have learned that.
Because if you miss somebody and you ain't get
get
the
them,
video,
how?
now you is a problem.
How?
I ran him a couple of years ago. I say, man, look here, y'all come to Junkanoo, like 3 or 4 schools. And I say, what y'all coming for?
Yeah.
Hey, remember that?
Yes.
And that's the thing, right? So like, okay, getting there before the parade starts. Now after that, we've been through so many different, you know, ways and forms of how we shoot, what we shoot, and that sort of deal. So we've tried so many different things, and now we kind of have it down to, you know, that well-oiled operation.
Yeah.
We know what we coming to shoot. We know where we need to be at what times. You know what I mean? So at this point, as long as we got the lineup, as long as we have all the equipment ready, charged, everything good to
Everything
go,
charged up.
we have hydration in the bags.
Right.
It's time to hit the road. We
that's
out
a
there having
must.
fun just like everyone else, right?
Yeah.
It's something that for us we passionate about.
Okay.
So you know, you let that passion, you know, drive you on the parade. There's times, man, where you know you ready to sit down on the road, like back hiding, foot hiding, everything hiding.
Welcome to the
Trying to
club.
figure out how you
And
get
then
home.
you see what I saying, right?
Yes, we just want to finish.
And you
Yeah.
know
That's what
you got a
that
whole
finish
another
line.
group to go,
And
right?
That's right.
So
Not to cut you off.
No,
A
no
quick
problem.
question. Let me ask you. So for the parade, you shoot everybody?
So right now, I'll be completely transparent. We've been focusing on A groups.
Okay.
Right? And we've shot B groups in the past. We put out B group content. But even within the A groups, there's certain groups that don't have that popularity that could pull and draw certain numbers.
Right.
And then when you talk about things like battery capacity, you're talking about space on the parade
Storage.
for storage and that sort of stuff.
Talk
It
about-
starts to get
talk-
limited.
Talk about the back end when you're editing.
Exactly, the back end when
People
you
don't
edit
talk
it.
about that side of it.
Right?
Right.
So-
But they only talk with the front end.
The front end is everything we got covered out, the A groups. That's the front end, right? But when you start to add all of those complexities of B groups, you know, you got individual, you got C groups, I think it is too. So like there's a lot of other things that happen on Bay Street that we
You
actually
got, that, you
don't.
got that exhibition group.
Yeah, we got exhibition groups coming, right? So there's a lot of things that we don't actually shoot while we out there, right? Which gives us the time to regroup, talk about what happened on the last parade and how I'm on the last
Right.
group going on and how we could adjust, that sort of deal. Because if it was shooting everything, the whole parade start to finish, I don't know if we'd actually make it to the end before either all the devices done or all the storage done. And we gotta go home and we ain't get the Saxons because they coming out 7.
Boss, you gotta travel with one judgment 10 terabyte boy.
Something.
You can't come from
Something.
faking. You gotta
You gotta
be
have a
pumped.
10
And
terabyte
you gotta
budget.
have your backup battery,
You gotta have a 10
backup.
terabyte
You
budget.
gotta have your charging station on board.
You gotta have
all
that 10 terabyte
Really?
budget.
And
I say it all the time.
as I talk about that, what equipment you using and what platforms are you using right now?
Okay, so for platforms, we are on most of the major platforms. So we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have YouTube.
You ain't get no X water?
We don't really operate on X because I'll tell you why.
That's one.
If you ever really like spend time on X, that's a dark portal. You can end
You
up.
end
You
up
see
in
what I
the-
mean, right? You can end up.
But we gotta get
Dark,
Junkanoo on X!
Down this pigeonhole.
Boss, we gotta
Okay,
get
that's
Junkanoo on
that's the
X!
avenue.
We gotta get Junkanoo on X because you gotta go down the dark hole of Junkanoo.
At the end of the day, there's always ways that you could change, develop, become better. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things
It's
you can put on your
wrong,
list.
So you gotta go
You
on
know what I
X
mean?
because you gotta go
That's
down the
crucial.
dark hole of
Because you also
Junkanoo
have
with
threads
X.
now. You have. It seems like every other month we have a new format that we could actually put our product on.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
We spoke the other day. We did this Patreon. We never even looked into that. But that's something where you actually get paid
Yep.
for people to watch your content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Patreon.
there's
That's
all
another one.
sorts of products and ways out there for us.
That's why I say,
Creators.
boss, you gotta get on X.
We'll add it to
And
the
tag
list of
Donald
things
Trump.
to-
Tag
to-
Donald Trump.
Right. Hey, Donald Trump retweeted us.
Listen,
It
Tag
over.
Donald Trump on X, right?
We
Tell him
get
say,
a-
come see Junkanoo.
Hey, Mr. Trump, we get one retweet from you,
Don't
and
forget
life
now.
changed.
Don't forget now. Trump has. We have several costumes where Trump is being prominent fixtures on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
So
It's
I want
always
to
there.
touch on the equipment thing too.
Okay.
So that was platforms, but the equipment has changed honestly since we started.
Yeah.
It's been trial and error. You don't know until you try it, right? And that's
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
main things that I've learned through this whole content process is
listening.
you always learning, right?
it's always something
So
new.
it's always something new that you could do, man. We had pocket cams, we had like those expensive gimbals, the real
Yes.
heavy ones, you know. And it comes back to the tried and true formula. What we find work the best for us is
Yeah.
a phone for one reason only. That phone mic does wonders with Junkanoo music. When you add any of these like additional audio pieces, you get
doesn't.
major distortion.
Yes.
So you can't actually hear anything when you come. The visuals are amazing and the audio is garbage. That means your entire content is garbage.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Boss
Right.
Junkanoo is audio boss.
Exactly,
That's
right?
what
At the
it
end of the
is.
day, it's
Well,
Junkanoo
hey,
music we're
it's-
keeping us, and the
we-
costume is only eye candy.
We know there's a media company, media giant out there that can never get the audio right for John.
Never.
I ain't
Never.
call nobody next.
The
I
audio
always
always
get- I
off,
always
boss.
get in trouble.
Modest
Why
and
call nobody
off.
next?
Your
Trying to
audio
beat this?
always somebody beating and you
They
be
showed you a
like,
girl in front there. Like,
it's like, how you get to that?
yeah.
My favorite part, my favorite thing was when I used my boom mic. My boom road mic, I used to boom up in the air on my tripod and shoot down low. My boom mic used to give me a surround sound because it used to pick up everything from the back, come forward. Most mics pick up from the front, go back. You see?
Cool.
So when I boom way up, all that sound from the back come up top.
See, but the thing is, sitting in this setting, we could take plenty from you. Just
see?
from the video standpoint. 'Cause you were one of the OGs, you know what I mean? I come up watching top class videos, you know what I mean? As well as our host here,
Silence.
you know, Mr. Silence in the back there. You all was the ones that really paved the way for
You all
everything
opened
that we're
doors.
doing now, you know what I
that-
mean? So
and you know what this remind me of? When we went on Jackson's show. You know what Jackson told us? Say, boss, more people are gonna come doing what you're doing now. You know what I mean? Say, what you're doing now, more people can come and be doing what you're doing now. And you gotta accept that because you gotta realize you gotta pass the baton. You can't hold the baton in your hand forever. The relay gotta run.
Because you're the first of me and you would be
You
the
gotta
only
be,
person.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's why he embraced us on the show. He
Yeah.
said, "You guys doing, boss? What are you doing here? Are you taking it to another level?"
Exactly. Yep.
You see what I saying?
For sure.
So and that's the same thing we did. That's why you see me. I ain't on the road
All
shooting
smiles.
no content no more.
Right now, you be
I
proud.
only in the studio right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now we get trusted faces on the ground doing the work and the heavy lifting and giving you the same great content we used to do.
And have the same passion that we had.
And had the same passion. See, and that's the key. Passion. A lot of people like Junkanoo, but they ain't get the passion for
I just was
Junkanoo.
about to say that. You have like persons coming in, right? And they thinking that
It's easy.
it's easy. And they doing it for the numbers. They ain't doing it because it's something that they love.
Love.
With us, I'm not gonna knock it and say, we've been in Junkanoo from we were young. And so for us, it was like, how do we improve our culture? How do we make people to understand what we feel when the drum turn over or when that cowbell kick in? You know, that's what it is for us.
Only
When
real
sometimes
Junkanoos feel that.
you understand?
exactly.
And sometimes, like, he's tell me, like, I can
Right.
say this, I'll tell you all, give you all a joke. You used to kick over. I forget I get camera.
Yeah, so you get jumping videos. And he's so you get jumping videos. All the videos doing that. All the videos doing that. All the videos shaking.
All I feel is this come to my shoulder. I said, oh, sorry.
You got something there, all the videos shaking.
See, when I talk about there's so much growth in what we've been doing.
Yeah.
When we first start.
Trial and error.
You know how much time I had to tell her, you gotta stop talking?
Yeah. Because they're coming in and feeding in the mic.
Yep.
You know, people friendly, right? So, you know, you at a
Everybody
Junkanoo
wants
space,
to talk,
everybody know each
All
other.
that picks up, yep.
Everybody want to come talk to you,
Listen.
and they always want to come right when you hug.
And the thing about
And
it
see
is,
why? And that's one of the main reasons I used to use my boom mic. So you talking to me down low, but my mic up top there, so I can't
Listen.
hear you.
he could tell
My
you.
mic can't hear you.
Because a lot of the recording is done by me, because he say he was abroad.
Yeah.
So he used to be like, hey, I said, but you ain't hear my mouth open. But he said, I could hear the people talking. I said, but I trying to say, hey, they still, and I'm like, okay, ain't no use me saying nothing else, because, hey, they still can talk. And
Sometimes you gotta let them talk, and then
But
sometimes
that
you
is
just
the-
point-
that-
you
yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
point to the camera. When you point to the camera, they realize.
that's what I
Don't
say.
talk.
Like,
That's why I always had my bum, because I know everybody coming to talk to me. So
know
that's
that.
why I bum my mic up. And I ain't got to worry if you talk to me, my mic's still picking up
Boy,
when it's
that's what it
supposed
is.
to pick up.
Yeah.
yeah, but then, like you say, it's learn.
Yeah, it's a
Try
learning
it.
process, a trial and error.
We still in, even though people like
You
think
deep
that
in that, every day you
even
learn.
we
Every day
now,
you learn.
like, with
Every
this,
parade you learn.
every parade, like he say, every time we do something, and
It's a learning
we
process.
say,
Constant.
okay, hey, this didn't work that way, or sometimes even when we think something is garbage,
It's
we
because
post it, and it has come out, and then I say, boy, listen
Let me
here,
get-
they
let
only
me
know
get-
the
let me
mind,
get- let me
what we
get
was
an
thinking,
cheat
but this
code.
video,
hit behind the scenes content. These are some of the best raw footage you will ever get behind the scenes. No parade. I talking about you. I have some videos, those to the side corners, talking, trash talking, around the fire coming through Elizabeth Avenue. There's some of the best footage you will ever get, because they Junkanoos in their real form
natural.
and raw form. You know what I mean? They the content the public don't see.
yes, that's what
And they the content you want capture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Do you guys use drones?
Yes.
Have you used drones in the past?
Yes, so we do.
For the Boxing Day, I mean, for the major parade, or was it for side parade?
So, I mean, we've been using drones for the major parade since we started, basically. But the way that we approach it has been, constantly changing. I think the first time that I flew, I had to figure out in real time how I was going to shoot with the drone and actually pick up some sort of audio to put alongside this, right?
drone.
And I mean, that was the first parade, 2022, that I was trying to figure this out. But I just got this drone like 2 or 3 weeks before the parade. I only take it to fly around the neighborhood once or twice to see if I actually know what is up and down and things. You know what I mean? So I don't even really know how to fly it yet. And I'm trying to figure out all of these other things. Now, if you look at one of our more recent parades, New Year's that just went, 2025, you will see how we were able to take that drone footage and actually sync everything in real time. So now, instead of there being a person standing in the middle of the square getting rowed by all of the marshals,
You got your drone that's
now
flying.
the drone in the sky, so I don't have to be interfering with
Interfering
anything that's
with
happening
nobody.
in the square, but we could also catch the entire experience, right? We get the crowd as well as the people rush in. So I think the drone is like one of them cheat codes where you don't have to
Actually
move.
be there.
I don't have to take 5,000 steps. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To cover this one group. I could stand up in one spot as long
And
as I
that's
get the
the-
good audio.
And that's roll.
Just roll. Let's let it shoot.
Awesomeness. That's where the newer technology comes in and to play. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So you guys rush. Who you rush with before you start doing
well,
Junkanoo media content?
well, let me
You don't
say-
feel. I don't be shy.
Oh, me, I ain't
we
shy
from
when
the
you want to
valley.
answer.
Well,
We
listen
come
to
from the
me.
valley.
I'm like, she's shy.
I'm shy of this. We die hard, one family.
And live
We
in the
came-
heart of where? And live where?
And we came from the Saxons.
But you live in Mason and this,
And I live
I
in
used
the
to die.
heart.
Used to die.
10 steps from the park.
You hear they say,
They just come look for you.
listen, and my mouth is the biggest and the hardest.
See, and that's what that's what people don't understand. When you shoot Junkanoo content, don't care what group you was affiliated with, you here to serve a different purpose.
Exactly.
And the purpose is to enhance the content of Junkanoo on the whole, not just a group. And that's why that's why I tell people you don't be afraid to tell people what group you come from, you know. You know what I mean? Because I here to shoot everybody. I so neutral, I can go to anybody's shop and shoot a video.
Yep.
Even though I was a Wally boy.
Yep.
Because me doing Junkanoo media, totally different from me being a member of this group. That's
Absolutely.
two different persons.
Yeah.
That's what
You know
that's
that?
what
And people
we
gotta
have the ability to
understand that.
separate that. A lot
You
of
gotta
people
be
can't
able to
separate it. A lot of people can't
separate
separate it, though.
Exactly.
See, a
what
lot of
it is.
people can't separate that.
No.
And you gotta be able to separate that. It is what it is. If I talk with my group bud,
But
you
you
know.
gotta be able to do
I
that.
talk with my group bud, boss.
The thing is, there's no way you
And
can
you
be.
see what I said? You gotta be able to do that. You gotta be neutral in the situation.
Yeah, there's-
I ain't got no time to play. I be real. And that's the thing with it is. Junkanoo's like people who real. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can't be scared to criticize. That's why I say you can't be scared to post them bad videos.
See, it ain't even scared to post a bad video.
Just post them. Just post them, man. Just
But
post them.
I agree
We
with
will
you
see
there.
'em.
Let's see them.
I agree with you
Because
there.
what you think is bad is motivation for somebody.
Exactly.
That's true.
I agree with you 100%.
You see what I
I
said?
agree with that 100%. I
What you
can't
think is
even
bad is
argue with that.
motivate. Some of the voice shows, some shows, sometimes we shoot shows and they be like, well, that's saying what I think. And that be some of the show that people love the most.
the
They
most.
call they up and they be like, wait, I understand that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
that, and to me, but in the show I really didn't want.
No, that's
you know.
real.
No,
That's
that
But
is-
real.
that's
was
to show
a-
everybody your
that was
touch
a-
too.
That was
That's
a-
real. But that's that's what we learn, right? You learn that from by putting it out. And the
see what
same
I'm
thing,
saying?
the same thing with the things that we've tried. Right?
Yeah.
Because we try all these
Oh, we
different
try.
things,
We
right?
try.
And some things stick, some things don't. But I can remember being like, I was recording this practice, and I was like, wait, it's a dead practice. Motto. And I put it out, and immediately the numbers just like through the roof.
Skyrocket.
And in my opinion, I was like, you
Like,
know what I
"Wait, this
mean?
a bad
If it
video."
was up to me, I wouldn't even put this out. But because I ain't got nothing else to put out,
Right.
And
You see
now,
what I said?
and now you see why I say you post every video. I don't care what it sound like, what it look like. This what it is.
that's real.
This what it is. Because your perception of good is somebody's perception of bad. Your perception of bad is somebody's perception of good.
Very true, very true. Have you ever uploaded a video that changed the narrative of Junkanoo? Did they change people's, perception, like the parade, upcoming parade? Because we all know that everything is momentum leading up to the parade. You know, some groups would be hot before the parade. When they come to Bay Street, it'd be like not.
No, not.
So have you ever posted a video or had influence with any of your videos that have really gone, like, not necessarily viral, but has influenced Junkanoo?
I think so.
Recently?
I think so. The one video that sticks out to me is One Family choreography for Boxing Day 2022.
That's when they came with the.
That's when they came with the Wakanda.
okay.
And,
Oh,
they,
yeah,
and they had the girls in the red, and they had the second set of girls in the green. But we put out drone footage of their routine in the square.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to this day, that is our highest viewed video. Like that's constant. Like even right now, if I pull up, you could see that still getting views today, and that's been since 2022.
Awesome.
You
that's
know,
formative.
you know what is my
TikTok video, like the little clips. Of
The
it
little-
that
the
we
little
get,
quick
man,
clips,
It was
the-
like
They just
that
jump
just-
on that.
gone.
One of my highest yielding videos is when the Wally boys play. Dun 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 dun. Okay. When that first bring that.
Yeah.
When they first bring that. That video was people still today, like you say, people still what that get so much views on that.
Probably.
Most likely.
Probably.
Yeah,
That was
But I mean, it was different.
That
Y'all
was
got
crazy.
legendary numbers.
And we
though.
was,
I mean,
we
you know
was
what I'm
supposed, the
saying?
jokey part is we were supposed to do a combine because I was bumped up. Hugo was down low. We were supposed to combine the video because I was up and Hugo was down. You see what I said? To
yeah,
give you the
yeah.
two
Yeah,
aspects.
yeah.
That's why I tell you I had everything bummed up.
Yeah.
And so, wait, that right there was one of them videos, like you say, they did a number catching video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
They
You
changed-
saying
they
that,
changed
I
the
even know
game.
the video you talking about.
Huh?
That's- I say you saying that, I know
Know the
exactly
video-
what
the
video
video
you
I
talking
talking
about.
about.
That's when you really is do it. You know, you
Yeah.
really into it. You won't just.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. So, being one family participant and fans for life, do you feel pressured to be neutral in your coverage? I mean, has anybody ever come up to you and say, "Man, you're a one family man. What you doing in my group?" Or I know I have had that happen to me before. Has that happened to you, or?
Well, see, most persons know who I am in Junkanoo. They know, hey, Landa's one family or hardcore. But they know I am respectful of persons in various different groups. And so it wasn't a hard transition, coming and going into groups and stuff like that, because what I would do, the first thing I would do when I started it out, I would go to persons who I know in head places. Like, I went to persons and I was like, hey, I have this little channel we doing, we recording contents, and this is what we're doing, and this is how we want to do it, and whatever's the case. Are you all interested? And we want to be able to, go through the group and whatever's the case. Like I say, everybody was welcoming. Only the Valley Boys spoiled it. But I look at them and I laughed in the end,
Because, eventually they can come to the
so
senses and
it was like,
they realize
like
what
I say,
happened.
most of the brass leaders was like, yeah, man.
But,
when you ready,
I can give you a take, right? One family was the same way with me.
That makes
I
sense.
could believe
though.
that. I could
makes
believe
sense.
that.
No, but that's what it is. When I first started, one family was the same way with me. There's
it was Ruth for me. I was
particular
Ruth.
person in one family was with me.
Hey, it was the Saxons for me too.
He got it in the side. He got it.
But that's how it be. You know what I mean? Until neutral faces inside the group say, boss, that's top class, by what you doing.
Or until they see the content.
You see what I said? And when they realize, why you ain't get all this footage, boss, I say, man, talk to your boy in the front door.
That's where
You wanna
And
know,
then they
right?
realize, they tell the boy, look here, man, no photos to it when he comes through here no more,
Yeah.
I got a story just like that. So Independence 2 years ago, I standing up. And remember I said, the Saxons, right? So I stand up in front of the Saxon, right? Waiting for them to get ready to start. One of their prominent individuals, I ain't identified, but comes up to me, he say, boss, if you want a part of the Saxon, you gotta come over this line. So I look at him, I say nothing. He walk off. He see I ain't move, so shortly later he come back around, boss, you want him here, and tell you if you want a part of the Saxon, you gotta come over this line. I ain't say nothing, because I ain't really there to, cause no problem or nothing. So he come back, he say, bro, you don't hear me, what's going on, mate? I say, bro, you know who you talking to? He say, no, who you shooting for? I say, I'm shooting for Rush Culture. He say, oh, I'm so sorry, bro, don't worry about that. He say, hey, all y'all, you see him? He's Rush Culture. Wherever he want to go, let him go. But bro, nobody here was bordering with me.
Only you.
Nah, you sanctioning that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I
But
definitely know what you're talking about.
in time, we got like sanction. Like,
when
like
you go to the
got-
back line, people start
start
to move on the
side,
side. Then you
open
come
up
to
and things
open
like
up
that.
and
Like I say,
you ain't get locked in the back line no more.
My
No.
favorite is when people gesture you to come take their picture. Hey,
Hey, boss, send me over here.
get me.
Or before the parade start, look at man, we doing one little special.
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah.
some
yeah,
special
yeah,
fanfare.
yeah, yeah.
We
need
want
you.
you catch this right here, you know what I mean? Come right here.
Yeah.
Now everybody
The brass
can
can roll
continue.
from in there. But you can hear 2 songs, but don't stop recording, because we coming back with 2 more.
They let you know.
You know?
It's like
so
that-
they get run down, so that means
So you
don't
gotta
cut,
be in
don't
place.
cut the video in the middle of their
Real,
routine.
real.
Yeah,
And,
but
and
it
now,
is what it is.
now we getting those heads ups. You know what I
You
mean?
know what I mean?
Now they letting you know, hey,
But that's what gonna
don't
happen.
go too far, cause or you know what I mean? Wait, if we can play this first, and then we coming back with the real song. So you know, don't run in the back yet.
Yeah.
Don't go in the back
Or
yet.
when you coming to sing or some
Hey,
crazy.
listen to me, baby.
Or now you have the situation now, like we started to develop these little 30-second videos of individuals. That was something like I started to do because I wanted people to get little feature.
Yeah, little
like to
feature, little personal something.
Personal to say you could see yourself, and then people could see the various different persons and different faces.
Faces.
Of Junkanoo.
Yeah.
So now it's be like, so I can't get none of them video, eh? I be like,
Hey, Bob.
but, and the thing about it is, you say, yeah, man, boss man, you straight, you know, you straight. And then you go to them, they start. I said, what happened?
Pull right up.
Phone line. I can't put that out, man.
You gotta catch them in character
Hey.
at that moment.
Yes.
That's another thing too, because a part of it too, right? So before, people used to try to run you out of the way. Now, certain people, when they see the camera or if they see the logo or they know your face, they break right up. They wasn't playing their horn like that before. Now they screaming the notes. Or they wasn't dancing. Now they can't or dead bod. Why?
They smiling.
That's
now
my
they see the
15
camera, they
seconds
smiling.
of film. You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
my moment now.
Yep, absolutely.
What gave me the joke of my starting out was when in my own group, one family, when I would record, they started to use them same recording to say, hey, to tell who blowing from who ain't blowing. So the joke used to be, hey, when Nanda come in this line,
Start
boy,
blowing.
Everybody
you
blow.
better blow, because if
Tighten
she
up.
catch you, you on camera. And them niggas used to say, you get catch slunking, man. What happened to you? That time
Catch slipping.
you get catch slipping. So now it's be, when they see that camera turn on, ain't nobody want catch
Performance.
or ain't nobody. So everybody now on their game. And it's like, when you, like before time, we could have slip out to practice and say,
Nobody
come
know
on,
you-
nobody noticed
yeah.
or whatever's the case. Now, even if we ain't got on our paraphernalia, people still saying, culture, oh, damn. And so now, like,
To get
since
out of
he's
the sneak
back,
up on people for real.
since
Yeah.
he's back, like,
Yeah.
I kind of should, like, pushing him to say
To-
record.
and you
so
just
that
chill out there.
I chilling on the side, so it's like, they ain't know
No
who recording.
recording.
Then now they like, well, hey, hold on, she's standing on the side with the shirt on. So, well, who recording? But they only could see the camera in the crowd. So they like, they ain't sure. To see, he has been so much in the back, on the back burner because one, he was away, and two, he never so really want to be up in the front. He's not the face he wants,
Yeah.
you know, to be seen.
Wide open that.
So
That's it.
he's like, yeah, you do all the face
face.
work, and if people need to talk to somebody, let them talk to you.
Real.
But what happens is now it's like, they ain't sure who coming.
Yeah.
Because then we still have like 1 or 2 persons that we have recruited and who
And
want
rolling
to,
cameras.
and they will say, hey, you
That's
going
going
out to this
down.
practice? It's like, yeah, okay,
Roll us.
cover that.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So that now gives us sometimes the say, I know who was
Who was who?
out there. You only been out to practice. We ain't see y'all in a little while. Why you only been out to practice? I said,
They
but
just
hold on,
say
let me
no
ask you a
who
question.
ain't on the practice.
You see your content was up on
YouTube.
on
or-
YouTube, right?
yeah.
So that means somebody was there. You
Yeah.
just don't know who the person is. So now it's like you have to have some, like we see say, some element of surprise still got to be there because, like you say, you ain't every practice can be a good practice.
Yeah.
And you still gonna have to post what you get.
see. It is what you is.
And it's
So-
one thing too, just how she say that, one thing too, if you give them heads up, boy,
You
they
get a show.
1,000 people out there.
No, man, you don't get nowhere. You
You
just
get-
show up. You just show
They
up.
come in right. They come in right. But
No,
if you
no.
don't tell them nothing,
You just show
Listen,
up.
I
you get
got-
what you get.
You just show up.
We
But,
used
but,
to do that with Genesis.
mm-hmm.
We wouldn't say, like we never used to tell no group when me is coming.
Come on.
So I have a good friend inside there. He used to be like, man, you all gotta tell us when y'all coming over.
No, man, you
so we
can't
can
tell
be up."
nobody when you
I
coming.
said, no, man, that ain't it. I say we want
Raw footage.
We just want it to be as real as
That's
y'all
a
can
good
put it
deal.
out.
Yep.
So if y'all ain't up to par, like he say, if it ain't up to par, it ain't up to par.
Well, it is what it is.
But
Do better.
Real.
because they know that now
We coming.
they have stepped up their game, and a lot of groups have stepped up in the way they present themselves and things like that, and the way they carry themselves now is a lot different because they know that the camera's gonna be out there, so they tend to do certain things different like than what they used to do, and they tend not to be so, I'd say, rowdy.
They
Yeah.
start putting big slaps on people.
Yeah. but what you see the future Junkanoo media looking like?
I think it's going to be something that's going to continue to grow until it's global. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like what we're doing right now is you guys were like paving the way. You know what I mean? If you're always paving the way, then we building the bridge. You know what I mean? We're trying to take this thing
To another
internationally. We don't want it to just be people in Nassau or people in the Bahamas who tuning in, because at the end of the day, we love our Bahamian people, but all our Bahamian people have an idea of what Junkanoo is.
Yeah.
When you ever see tourists who come off them ship and thing and they see Junkanoo for the first time,
They freak right out.
freak right out. You see what I'm saying? And that's where we want it to go. That's where we see it going. Is, you know, Junkanoo on a global stage, Junkanoo at like the Super Bowl, them type of things.
The whole
It
nine.
starts with media, right? Because if you don't know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like me and you ain't never been to Africa. You might have been. I know. I never been. But I never been to Africa, so I don't know nothing about that unless I go see a video or something like that. Right? That informs me. So that's where we at right now in terms of trying to get this thing global. That's the real objective. And it ain't for us. It ain't for me. It's for the people who doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's for the people who rushing. For the people who take their time out. All of them hours you spend practicing, working
All
on your
that.
costume, all of that stuff. What we know to be the tradition, you rush,
Yeah.
and then you get back, you strip your feathers off the costume, you take what you can take, and that's garbage.
But this the fun part of the show. This the fun part of the show. Look at she get worried. Okay. So, what is your favorite group to shoot?
I mean, it can sound like a cop-out, right? My favorite group to shoot is One Family.
Family.
You want to know why?
What answer you want to give?
You want to know why? I can tell
Let
you
me
why.
tell
I can be
Uh-huh.
completely honest with you all.
Yeah.
From the first day Junkanoo practice started, One Family brings you a certain quality of product. You know what I mean? Certain groups only want to start with back line. Certain groups
Quick
come up
question.
girls until a certain amount of
Quick
time. One
question.
Family come with the whole group.
You got with practice, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening on Bay Street?
On Bay, I mean, I thinking about, you know, the practice thing.
No.
Now,
I
on Bay
asked
Street,
you what's happening to One Family
Oh.
on Bay Street.
Let me
okay.
say this.
I can let that go.
I have been in.
Because y'all known for the best practice.
Yeah, we known for the best practice, right?
Yeah.
But let me say this: for a person who has been in One Family from
From
the beginning,
yeah.
and I've played different faces in One Family, the problem that I think we had encounter was we were not organized the way we were set up when we first started Junkanoo.
Okay.
yeah, and I could say something more on top
sort
of
of
that.
swayed away from the
Right.
Right.
The
Because
original plan.
From the original plan.
I come up with Bubbles. Anybody who know
Yep.
Bubbles
Yep.
know he was a stickler. He tell you, listen here. If I say stand here,
You
you
stand
stand
here.
here. He was, and he ain't move. You don't move. Until I tell you move. And he's like this. If I calling you and I telling you come line up and you line up here and you line up here, And when
discipline,
you said
the
the
discipline.
discipline was there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tell them now, to this day, right now, one family don't have that discipline that we
Plenty groups
originally.
don't have that discipline.
Plenty
Standard.
groups don't have that. And I
They
think that's the
lose that.
big thing, right?
That's they lose it.
You asked about Bay Street, and the thing about Bay Street is, but people don't understand. People always try to make Bay Street seem like it's so complicated, and it's all of these moving parts
just
and pieces.
discipline, boss.
It's just discipline. Bay
That's
Street
it.
is one of them things when you're supposed to be lined up in the road before
let
you
me
get on the
tell
clock. You don't get on the clock and then call the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your parade management is what comes down to who
That
can win and
is-
lose Bay Street.
Let me say this, Steve, before you, not to cut you off. That is what the Saxons is beating you with.
Right now.
Parade management.
Management.
Yep.
And because the number that they pick, it gives them an opportunity to sit back and watch what you go there and do. And if you do something dumb and you do something wrong, they take that same thing and come back and say, oh, I ain't got to do that. We
Yep.
ain't gonna do that this way because
Yep.
we done see them said do it. And they got, when you see Denise Liban say, listen, she now in charge. So when you see her stand up, she stand and she watch every group. And when she take whatever you done do and she done see that ain't work, she takes that back and listen. And when she line, when they say line up time, and they discipline, she making sure this here, that here, everybody moving when they say move.
This thing just like sports, right?
Yeah.
It's just like sports. So you watch the NBA finals were just gone. If you watch that, the Pacers was being coached way better than the Thunder. And although the Pacers might be a lesser team, but based on overall talent, they was competing.
Yeah.
Why? Because they got better strategy,
Yeah.
right? They got better coaching. And people just think Junkanoo is just, we can line up, we can rush. No, bro.
boss, you ain't gonna
It's
line up, you
strategy
can rush,
and
it's
coaching.
strategy.
See what I say? It's your heads who line up the group properly. It's a big thing, but lining up the group on time, starting on time, getting out that gate on, all of that matters. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of the parade. And you asked about one family, they failed to do those things properly recently, and that's been a big part of the outcome. And that doesn't fall on any one member. You know what I mean?
Falls on the group.
It falls on the management. That falls on, the overall heads.
Well, next question. What's the best parade you captured so far?
I think they answered that one.
I think the best parade that we have captured has been 2022 because of the COVID, not because of anything else.
Yes.
Because of that hiatus, everybody was itching to get back
Itching
to
to
back
back
on
on
the
the
street.
road.
You know what I mean?
It was
the
like a
hype was
hype.
real for
It
that
was
parade.
real.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the reason why. Now outside of that, if you're talking just overall experience on the parade, I'd probably say last Boxing Day.
Last Boxing Day.
Just because at this point we are now an entity that's recognized by the community, so it's the experience is a lot different, right?
Yeah,
so when
you're
you
more
get out there,
comfortable.
it's a lot more comfortable. There's a lot more respect. People opening up for you. It's crazy when Bella's opening up to let you through. so you
You
can
don't
go
get
to
left
the-
with them bells in
You
there.
know what I mean?
No.
So like
On the side of the costume.
Going,
the hype though, the hype from that break.
yeah. Because
I feel like we had that sense.
It was like I say, everybody was like, it was like saying everybody was hungry.
Yeah, it's
You know, it's like, we ain't been out there, so boy, we gotta go there, we gotta put on this show. And it was like everybody had that feeling. Ain't no group that you couldn't have walked through, that you couldn't feel the hypeness. And that, we gotta put that show on.
What you feel better shooting with, a phone, a camera, or a drone?
For me, he shoot with the drone.
Don't matter.
I ain't touching that.
Which one you prefer?
Me? If I could shoot it all with the drone, I shoot everything with the drone.
And you?
For me, it's the phone. I've tried the phone, I've tried the little mini camera and everything like that. The phone was comfortable, I can do what I want to do, and I can move around better with it. The little camera, I was like still trying to figure out if I recording. And after a couple times I came up to him, I said, hey, this still on? And he's like, you seriously asking me that? I said, because I don't feel like I know what I do with this.
It's be like that sometimes.
And so I comfortable with the phone.
So on your social platform, all your social platform, comments on or off?
Comments always on.
You want to get that
Always on.
feedback.
Always on.
You
We,
wanna get
we,
the
we need
feedback.
to know. We need to know from the public. We need to know if it's good. We need to know if it's bad.
Bad.
We
We
need to
take
know
everything.
why you don't like it as opposed to this person like it. We need to know, because at the end of the day, that engagement is what brings people back to the channel.
Wow,
You know what I mean?
that right there.
Some people coming back just to row. Just because you post something. I telling you,
yeah,
they
but-
coming back
tell me
just-
about it.
Listen,
I know.
We have one guy, he's a pure Saxon, and everything what we post up of any other group is garbage. It's
Trash bins in the comments.
It's in the comments.
That's his opinion, and that's the
And
beautiful
so
thing
that's
about
what
it.
I'm saying.
Welcome.
And we be
Welcome.
like, cool, if that's how you feel.
Welcome to
we
Junkanoo
can't
Media.
knock you
Always
for
on.
how you feel.
Yeah.
And like I would say this much with us. When he started, I just use our Facebook. When he started our Facebook, he didn't start our Facebook to say for Bahamians.
He started for foreigners.
He started it because he was in Canada at the time. So here it is. When he turned it over, because we have like in our little thing, we have you in control of this, you in control of that, and like that. So when I say okay, I can take over Facebook, it was like, bro, why ain't nobody on this in our country?
Yeah. You get all different demographics.
I say, what you want me to do with this? He said, that on you now. You got to do it. But in time, we have grown it to where persons now go on it and appreciate it. And then it ain't just our, it ain't our people.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
the beauty of it.
I say, like he say, we ain't just touching us.
Us, we touching worldwide.
Because I use a jokey video that someone sent me. Sarge have that 100 million, and they did the reenactment with the white folks and everything like that. When we posted that on Facebook, I was like, it was just a joke. I just posted to put it as a joke. Man, listen here, when I saw one of our Canadian person shared it, I almost died. I asked him, I said, boy, you see who's sharing this video? And he ain't our people. And he's like, what you laughing at that, bro? I say,
it is what it is.
I say, but you would never think that they would understand what that is.
Yeah.
And it was like, that right in itself, like you say,
That's no experience
you
for
just
them.
don't know what it's going to
That's
be
entertainment
ahead
value,
from
right?
money.
And on that
Entertainment
note,
value.
what's next for Rush Culture?
I'll let him answer that.
I think what we really want to do is we want to take it from just like practice and a Bay Street experience and take it to like a full behind the scenes, all inclusive. Get into the shacks, speak to the members, see the costumes from start to finish. So we just want to like expand on what people get to understand is Junkanoo, because people only see practice on Thursday, and then when they come to the parade, these costumes just show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
And,
I really
all
want
the
to.
gorgeous costumes and everything like that. So like he's saying, we want to show you how this process to get to this grand show.
Yeah.
So because I think that's an avenue that persons have.
I started it, but I ain't never finished it. I started that process of from the shack to Bay.
I've also done
A similar.
similar thing through photos, like
Through
my
photos.
last two costumes, from ground, from
drawing.
ground crowd,
I was-
from drawing.
And I ain't talking about, when I say from shack to Bay, I talking from costume committee meeting to Bay.
Absolutely. And
That's what I talking about.
So-
I ain't talking about just you coming from the shack to go to Bay. I talking about from in the beginning
from inception.
to the
Inception.
end.
Right.
That's where I would love to see it get as soon as possible.
But
But we know.
costume committee meeting is sacred.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
That's
trying to
what
say. That's
But
see,
I was a
part of the process,
I was a
right?
part of the process.
Exactly.
So I have costume committee meetings.
you have say it right.
Footage.
You have the Valley costume
Costume committee meetings,
exactly
footage.
because you have access, right?
I
And
had
everything comes back
access.
to what? It comes back to access.
Access.
Right? Why we was recording the Valley from the sideline at the beginning? Because we ain't had access. You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
and just like
It's
how
just
that changed.
access.
That's how that ended up being something that now you could walk straight through the group. At some point,
You can get
we
there.
can get access to that, you know, and then people will be able to really appreciate
What we doing?
what's happening. It's
and how it's
not
done.
just a overnight process.
Yeah.
That goes to say how we want to, that's why one of our reasoning for doing individual. So when we now go this year, we're going to start the process of seeing how we get from how our customers start from the bottom.
Why y'all in my head?
But that's good, because if you put it
Why
out
y'all
and we
in
put it
my
out,
head?
then we can share yours, you
We
can
can
share
share
us.
yours.
Why y'all in my
But
head?
that is
Because I just
one
told them I gotta put a 360, I gotta put a judgment, a GoPro on my individual to carry down the bait.
Yeah, see,
I like that
was,
too.
That was one of our reasoning for doing, people said to us, why y'all went into individual? I said, for me, being a person who did need costumes and stuff like that, and I was telling him, I say, this may be the only avenue, not only, but the avenue that we would have control over, where we could show people exactly how a costume can start from frame, the brown cardboard to pink and white, getting the colors.
The
Because
whole
let me
thing.
tell you something, for me, when you see the sweetest part of Junkanoo, to me, is when you see that brown and that white come there, and then you see that, and them colors
White
start
and black.
coming in. Man, listen here. I just want to go back to the shop just to see the colors, just to finish. Because that's the
Hey.
sweetest part to me.
Hey, listen
when
to
you're
me.
doing a costume.
Listen to me. We could stay here all night reminiscing and doing whatever we want to do. But real talk.
Let me ask you all a quick question about.
Yeah. Let Papa get
yeah.
you before
Yeah.
I, before
Let
I
me ask you a quick
wrap,
question
before
about,
I wrap this up.
This is about creators. This creators you respect or draw inspiration from today, and what do you think about the future of Junkanoo media? I mean, not only from a social media standpoint, but just in general. Do you think we can get to that real stage, grand actual experience?
I believe it. I believe we could get to that stage. There's a lot of power in media. Okay, so like what you record and put out, and who you put it in front of, is what matters most, right? I respect all of the creators in our space in terms of this industry, because the thing about Junkanoo is because it's so big and there's so much going on that no matter where you are able to capture viral moments. No
Yep.
matter which part of the parade you shooting.
Yep.
So even if I shoot in Rawson Square, somebody in the hall
Get some
catching
serious
that
footage.
serious, that when that
Raw
crowd
footage.
can on dead bad right by the straw market, somebody shooting that, right? So
Yeah.
I can't say, just watch us or I only pay attention to our content. You have to pay attention to everybody's content.
Everybody
You have to
bringing
stay
some
relevant
perspective.
because everybody have their own perspective, like you say. People shooting from the sideline sometimes have the best videos.
Wow.
Yep.
Because they get the crowd from the crowd. You know what I mean? When you in the road and you getting the crowd from the road, it don't hit the same as somebody who's standing right next to your boy who's slapping that you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
that
When
shutter
they
and
get
all
bang,
that
bang,
thing.
bang,
Yeah.
that right in the, so all of that
and he's
matters.
interacting with the crowd, so they have that front row.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So in terms of the creators, anybody that's in the space that is doing it and doing it at a level where they consider themselves serious is somebody that we respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we can't be 100 places all at once.
Yep.
Right? So you ain't gonna never get everything.
Everything.
You gotta be lucky enough to be in the right spots to get
right
most
time,
things.
yeah.
Most
Yes,
important. If you could shoot it that way, if you get
Most important
80% of what happened, you did a very good
Good job.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Absolutely.
that's really where it comes down to.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. And from the final words to your fans, and
Where they can find you.
right, don't forget to let them know where you can find you once again, where they could catch you, subscribe. to
all
you.
your social media.
social media plugs.
All that.
Which that's me, right?
Everywhere,
Okay.
man. Just talk. Speak, Chad.
Follow us on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@RushCulture. If you ain't too sure, take a picture. It's right there. You see what I'm
Rush
saying?
Culture. Subscribe.
YouTube, on Facebook, we are Rush Culture 242 on Facebook. TikTok is something else. You got to tell them what the other side is.
See, his baby is
It's YouTube.
So, TikTok is Rush Culture. Facebook is Rush Culture Bahamas. Now, Instagram is basically.
So Instagram is rush.culture. Now, if you do us anything, any favors, anything like that, we'd appreciate any like, any share, any comments, any interaction. If you send it to your people.
Even if you have videos that you would like for us to post, we tell you send the videos. Because like you say, we can't be everywhere.
Yep.
And sometimes we may not cover something that what you may think that should have been covered, or something you see that may have been feel like it should be posted. Send it to any one of our outlets, because at the end of the day, we can post it. We make sure that we ask, hey, is this your video? Because we don't want
nobody else come for nobody. Yeah.
Nobody come for no.
Yeah.
I mean, make sure of that.
Yeah.
Because, people that say,
Junkanoo is touchy, boss.
listen
Touchy
here.
bad, my boy. Listen to me.
Him is on the whole touchy.
You know how the thing goes.
It is what it is.
And
That's
like I
that's
say,
who we are.
From we started and to see now, we've seen other persons come up underneath the same situation. And all I think, my advice to them, and the only thing I say is, be mindful of two things. Be mindful of the person that you're recording. Give them that space. Give them their space to put on their show.
Sure.
And secondly, be mindful of our own. We can't, knock down the next person. If you find that person, you see that person record, and if you could step back or so, or step
Give
on
them
the side,
space. Yeah, man.
their
Let
space.
everybody
Let
let everybody
everybody
shine.
Exactly.
Because
Let
at the end
everybody
of the day,
shine.
like you say, it's enough for everybody
Everybody.
to go around, and it's enough out there for us to put out there, to
And that's why I still in the studio and y'all on the road.
Exactly.
Nah.
'Cause it's
Y'all
enough
got
for
y'all
everybody.
time to shine on the
Yes,
road.
sir.
I
Yes,
can
sir.
shine in here.
And then guess what? When you in here no more, we could be in here. And there could be a
So
new
somebody
crew
else
on the
can be
road.
in.
And that's
Absolutely.
how the
Absolutely.
relay run,
They
boss.
could just
Relay,
learn from
that's
there.
the
That's
cycle
how
of
it is.
life,
That's the way
boss.
it is.
That's like
It's the
like how you
cycle
say
of life.
with the daughter and father. Listen here, they came and they introduced themselves to me. Like I tell them, I say, man, until they introduced themselves to me, I really didn't know who they was and whatever's the case.
You wouldn't believe I knew them. I saw the product, but I didn't know that product was theirs.
And so, like I tell them, anytime somebody come and they introduce themselves to me or whatever, I tell them, I say, this so and so. I say we gotta check out their content. You go and you check it out. And be like, hey, boy, they did some nice work.
They know.
And like you have persons like I say now, you have persons like Awesome has switched, not only switched, but he has added
Transitioned,
to the
Videos
videos and
and-
stuff
and
like
stuff.
that. And then you have Kool-Aid, but that is doing little touches of videos and stuff like in and out. But like I tell him, you have to be consistent, not just do it because looking to just do it. You got, and not just be with one group. You gotta be very careful.
Yeah, you gotta get everybody.
You gotta get
Right.
Because
you gotta
people
be
can get touchy, you can get blackballed, you can
You
get
gotta be
blackballed,
impartial.
and you can get
You don't
shut
want-
out.
You don't want to put yourself into a box.
Right.
Yeah.
A
You
box.
can get
Exactly.
put in the box, you can get
That's like
blackballed.
your-
Listen to
Exactly.
me.
I
You
tell
can
you,
get
that is my
blackballed.
Easily.
advice.
You see,
That
so
is
you
my
gotta
advice
be
now.
be
So
And
when you go
impartial.
to certain group, you can get the same
The
rejection
same
you get from
treatment
the
we are
one.
receiving at some point. Yes,
And
very
so
much
now
so.
you have, and like he said, we tend to watch everybody contents, and we tend to watch things and stuff like that because at the end of the day,
We fans.
all-
We all fans.
We all fans of Junkanoo,
fans
That's
of
where the
Junkanoo.
passion is, right? That's
and
why.
like
Yep.
you was telling me when we having our little conversation, you'd be like, how you feel about this, or how did you how your feeling came to this and whatever. That's the only way we gonna be able to grow. If we could be able to come to each other and give each other a little bit of advice and stuff like that. And like I tell them, I've been a fan of his work from that time.
That time.
And I still
OG is in the game right here.
Yeah.
We were
But-
legends right now.
But boy, This episode been so judgment inspiring
Been
and
dread.
empowering
This has been dread.
and long.
Yeah.
How long? We gotta come to end.
Yeah.
We gotta come to end because we'll be here all night.
Night.
Yes.
But look, y'all, before we go, like I say, we're touching this series here on media and Junkanoo. So we're going to be contacting a lot of persons who shoot content for Junkanoo. And we want you to come on tell your story. Because we ain't just want to tell your story, we want to put your face to their story.
I want you to tell your own story.
And tell your own story because a lot of fans out there be watching your content and they don't know who you is. You know what I mean? So we want to put faces with names. You know what I mean? We want to put faces with names. And when you see these people now, you could recognize, oh yeah, but they can put me someplace. So don't fool with them.
Right.
So don't push me on the side, knock me with no drum, hit me, elbow me, get your
Don't
marshal,
push you
and
in
toss me,
Russell Square.
and push me around to
Alright.
all these different places.
Yeah, because we know all about them.
But other than that, thing called Independence Day coming far.
Yep.
Yep.
Independence Day coming. You all see the lineup by the current on. Be out in full force. Rush culture can be there from start to finish.
Start to finish. If it's only us in one family, we could be there.
Yeah! But the
We
choky
gonna be
part
there.
is, I was trying to come out there, but due to circumstances, I got to see how this can pan out because I'm in one little side parade in a little while. I just want to come make one little appearance, do one little live drop and roll out. That's all I want to do, you know.
I
Just,
really appreciate it.
just show up and do one little live drop and roll out, you know what I mean?
Show your face.
But it depends on my little situation. You know, I got to make sure I got to babysit.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But-
Before we go,
Yeah, man. You
Before
get
we
any
go.
announcements before we go?
yeah, I got one announcement before we go. Before we
Okay.
go, I want to remind all Junkanoos about the orange economy. The orange
Run the
economy,
current.
The orange economy is run by the Economic Affairs Division of the. Hey, producer, can you help me out there? No, Economic Affairs Division, and what they're basically doing is they're giving artisans, not only Junkanoo artisans, but all artisans, the opportunity to create, and they will purchase or they will facilitate or try to facilitate for you to get a sale for your artwork. So break it down in layman terms. You have a costume and you got two pieces on the side or whatever, and you think it's worthy to be a piece of art, or if you don't think it's worthy to be a piece of art, take a photograph, send it to the Economic Affairs Division. We'll have more information about the details later on as we get closer to the Junkanoo season. But here's the deal. Create pieces that can be sold. Make money for yourself. Junkanoo
Yep.
is now a business. You could have an opportunity to sell your whole costume or a piece of your costume. So we would like for you to take this opportunity.
That's the costume. You can sell content.
Content, you could do anything you want to do.
Everything.
You actually you could create you could create things to be sold. Simple things, wall art, what do you call it, portraits, anything. You can top class vests.
Oh yeah, buy ready to auction this now.
All right,
then.
So
Starting at $400.
All right,
you know
then.
now.
Okay.
Coming from faking father.
So the opportunity is out there.
Start at $400, boss.
It's up to us to take advantage of the opportunity. So just want to put that out there. So as we get into the Junkanoo season and your builder is building your costume, then you want this little piece here, and you want this little piece there like that, you can work it out for yourself.
Don't let him give you no little pop bowman thing, boss. Run your builder. If your builder can't like that, run him father. I let him know now.
Boom.
You know what I mean? Current on. Anyway, but we wrapping up this segment and it has been true, this been real. Rush Culture Live here on Double Rock. The current resort in full form, boss. You're surely top class in the place. My producer, Mr. Silas Live. My co-host today.
Paparazzi.
Our guest today.
Lander.
AJ.
We just brought you a special edition, a thing called Double Rock, boy. I tell you, boss, we can double rock you to pieces on Independence Day, boy. I suggest, hey, boy, I want to get me one gold skin drum and come downtown and show these dudes what Junkanoo music supposed to sound like, boy. Thing called blue, 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 blue. Huh? And punch the head off. Double rock to the world, boy. Top class in the place. We out.
Oh,
You all know how the thing go. Subscribe to JNN for the Double Rock Show. Subscribe to Rush Culture for all of your videos.
But I gotta start
practice,
bringing my drum here. But
Don't miss it.
When I hear my goat skin drum and I roll up here now and I double rock the start and finish the show, off in the head.
It over.
Over here.
It over. Boom.
Oh, boy.
hey.